Hi, my research project is on sand tray therapy for single mothers. The goal of my research is to provide an opportunity for single mothers to gain well-being by partaking in sand tray therapy and to use creativity as an emotional outlet. The research project will take place in an office setting where the client will create a sand tray therapy experience, and then they will take that experience and create a new one out in nature on the sand at the beach. With each experience, the client will create an intention and then reflect on their therapeutic experience. The population includes women, specifically single mothers. The identifying problem includes stress, lack of or no support, trauma, poor mental and emotional health, and well-being. The culture includes feelings of being or having to be independent and feeling alone, stigma against accepting, receiving support and resources, and the lack of support and community resources. The methodology includes grounded theory, narrative therapy, and mindfulness. The data collection and interpretation will include information that's given to the clients on the overview and itinerary of the sand tray therapy research project, and permission forms will need to be signed by the clients in order to participate in the sand tray therapy experience. And then there will be a review of the reflections that the clients experience while doing and after doing the sand tray therapy experience. The timeline will include 1 month and up to 3 months for ongoing support per the client's needs, availability, and choice. Sand tray therapy is beneficial for stress relief, trauma healing, support, and mental and emotional well-being. Sand tray therapy is an expressive mental health therapeutic intervention that is a communication aid. Sand tray therapy makes use of a sandbox, toy figures, and sometimes water to create a world inside of the sandbox of scenes of miniature worlds that reflect a person's inner thoughts, their struggles, and their concerns. Sand tray therapy has been used in situations where neglect, trauma, or abuse have occurred, and it can help bring forward some subconscious feelings. Creativity is an outlet for trauma, abuse, or other difficult experiences. Sand tray therapy utilizes visual communication through kinesthetic play, and it allows a client to be heard when they cannot put their feelings into words. Playing with their hands can make a client feel more comfortable and open to talking with a counselor. In sand tray therapy, the role of the therapist is to observe the client's experience and storytelling and ask questions, but the counselor needs to avoid prompting or leading. Sand tray therapy involves steps including setup, creation of the sand tray, processing the sand tray, cleanup, and documentation of the experience. Case studies and research illustrate the effectiveness of sand tray therapy. In the book by Weber and Mascari, titled Sand Tray Therapy and the Healing Process in Trauma and Grief Counseling, they wrote about sand tray therapy being an effective therapeutic tool in trauma and grief counseling. Historically, sand tray therapy has been an effective technique used in the healing process in Europe, Japan, and the United States. The tactile, nonverbal experience promotes awareness of deeply personal emotional issues within a safe therapeutic environment. Sand tray therapy provides a powerful therapeutic approach to traumatic experiences to establish safety, reconstruct the trauma story, and restore connections within the community. Clients report that they feel drawn to certain figures and are surprised at the power of sand tray therapy in promoting their disclosure of sensitive issues. The arrangement of miniature figures in sand reflects the client's inner world and evokes spontaneous metaphors and healing narratives that provide understanding of the trauma story. Individuals begin to find solace and healing in the sand tray experience without using their words. Kathy Malchiotti wrote in her book called Expressive Therapies about the different expressive modalities in therapy practice with children, adults, and groups, including sand tray therapy and other integrative approaches. The creative modality of sand tray therapy includes an assessment and intervention with people experiencing specific clinical problems and life challenges. Sand tray therapy is an expressive art modality that is a strategy for integrating expressive work with other forms of psychotherapy and counseling. My personal experience with sand tray therapy involved a creative therapy session with my counselor, which is the first sand tray image you'll see in the footage. And in that experience, I was able to tell my story by what I placed in the sand and how I moved the sand around and took items out and put items back in. Then I created my own sand tray creative experience at home and reflected on that experience. And that is the second sand tray image that you'll see. And then lastly, I created a sand tray experience out in nature on the beach, which is the third image, and it shows shells lined up. In my experience, I just wanted to see what it was like and to experience sand tray therapy so I would have an idea of what other clients experience. The benefits of sand are feeling grounded while walking on the sand, and sand reduces stress by reconnecting and grounding us to the energy of the earth, and sand stimulates nerve endings in the feet and hands. Sand tray therapy boosts sensory of touch and promotes creativity and imagination through communication and storytelling. Thank you.